I think you start with the good old fashioned Big 12 game. I mean, this is this is fantastic because I remember the years where we made fun of Mahomes and Mayfield going at it and all the points. And if you watch the Ole Miss Georgia game, like it felt exactly like that. I mean, it was wild. Like it was absolutely wild. The fact that you had every possession go for a score until you got to the fourth quarter. Literally until you got to the fourth quarter. And Trinidad Chambliss has been a huge story throughout the season. People wondered coming from Ferris State, like I think the largest crowd he ever played in front of was like 16,000 people. And he goes in front of 100,000 people at Sanford Stadium. And he does all right. I mean, just spitting the ball out, getting it out quick. Georgia's pass rush, not really a thing for him. He's taking care of business. 10 straight scoring drives for Georgia and for Ole Miss to start that game. 10 straight. Like, it was crazy. The only difference in the first half and why Ole Miss was leading, Georgia got the ball first. Georgia kicked a couple field goals. Ole Miss didn't. So it was 21-20 at the half. And then more of the same. It's interesting. Bobo gets a lot of heat. He gets talked about with this offense, but it's pretty clear if you're watching Georgia, there's one problem that pretty much consistently happens, and it's their defense. And obviously early in games has been an issue. Now this time the offense showed up in the first half, so it very much kept Georgia in it. But Gunnar Stockton was incredible. Like it went from Gunnar Stockton, and his QBR is actually one of the top 5 in the in FBS, which is, I think people would say that's kind of crazy that it's that high, and you'd be kind of surprised. But he was unbelievable. He was 12 of 12 in the second half. He was overall, he was 26 of 31. Gunnar Stockton threw for 348. He ran for 59 and a score. And the Georgia offense, man, just kept rolling, kept throwing body blows, ran way more plays in the end. Georgia's defense, they got them to punt in the fourth quarter. And that was the first time that there was a punter that walked on the field for either team. Literally, in the fourth quarter, they get the stop. And then I guess, one of the biggest things that you have to look at is when the way they're running the football and the way they run body blows. This was the most complete we've seen Georgia's offense. And I say that because Gunnar was spinning it. They were running the quick game out wide like they always do with Branch. Colby Young gets hurt after the first deep ball. They were faking the screens. But something weird happened for Georgia. Georgia's got tight ends. It's weird. I know. It's crazy, but the tight ends showed up. Lucky has a hat trick. Delp has a big play. Like they started incorporating the middle of the field a little bit more. Branch shows you he's not just a gadget guy. Like they're throwing back shoulder fades to him. He had a couple of deep balls down the field. The offense stayed hyper aggressive. They stayed super balanced. They ran the football. So I think that form of Georgia's offense, when you get the run game going, multiple backs that run the ball so flipping hard. Gunnar Stockton that can run it. Now that they're protecting the offensive line, which was another combination because Green comes back at right tackle. The tight ends involved, the receivers. I mean, that offense, it was the best version of Georgia's offense that you've seen. 510 yards, didn't take the foot off the gas. And I think the question becomes, hey, Brent, is it more likely that Gunnar Stockton now is in the Heisman conversation? Because beginning of the year, everybody's like, wait a minute. I see the deficiencies. I see what he can't do. Now, and we still see those. I mean, sometimes you still see him.
There's 2 or 3 a game.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 a game. But the dude just carried his team against the top 5 team in the country. So when you do that, I guess you answer some of the questions and you say he's closer to Heisman than he's getting closer to benched. I mean, and in the beginning of the season, obviously that was something that we were talking about.
Very much so. And I think it actually has gotten to the point now where the point that I made in the preseason leading up to the season when we talked about, I thought Georgia would get better quarterback play, but not be as talented at the position. And today I think was the definition of that, where Bobo is doing phenomenal things and just dialing up winner after winner after winner, except for one play. And he went from like hated person to the
Halfback
goat,
toss in the red
the
zone.
Cash Jones near the goal line kind of
Okay,
that one
okay.
where
So let's talk about that play real quick because Ole Miss ran the same play and it worked. So the difference is one worked and one didn't. The only thing I would say is if I'm watching Georgia and Cash Jones is in the game, it's probably an outside run or a pass. Very rarely are you going to give them the ball at the middle unless it's 4th and 2 against Alabama on a quick count. But anyways, I digress.
But right
That's
after that, though,
subject.
was a beautiful play call to get I think it was the first touchdown to Lucky. But that's what Gunner did today, and just working within the offense, and then taking the deep shots and hitting a few. The one to Bell, the one to Colby Young. Like that's the best version of Georgia's offense, like you said. And I think the Ernest Green returning and having that depth to where they can rotate Juan Gaston in at guard a little bit, rotate him at right tackle some, and move those guys around with the running game. McCray, the big time 4th down run from McCray.
Dude, that was probably that was
pure
probably
effort.
the biggest run of the game because that was late in the third quarter with like a minute left. At that point, it's a 9-point game, and he had no business getting that first down.
Nope.
Like that was all. I'm a dog. Like, and I'm not going to go down. They put him at fullback. They run him the football. Again, 9-point game. He's hitting the backfield. He falls forward, gets 2 yards. 7 plays later, Nate Fraser catches a touchdown. Next thing you know, you look up and now it's a ball game. But it's crazy, man. It's still crazy to watch. Georgia's defense still doesn't have a lot of answers. And I think that's not going to change. But here's the thing, guys. You're not going to play Ole Miss every week. Like, no. And that's the thing about matchups. Styles make fights. You know, Trinidad, his heart rate was so good. His running ability when he gets in the red zone is so good. But Trinidad blinked a couple times, and he missed a couple of open receivers. And here's the thing. Georgia made him pay once he did that. Like, they shut down the run game. They gave up 0 points in the fourth quarter. They had 11 plays on – almost had 11 plays for 13 yards in the fourth quarter. Like, yep. That's insane. That's nuts. So Georgia still does what they always do. They don't blink. Like, they find a way in the end. They bat a couple balls down on the last possession to get a stop. And next thing you know, you look – and they got some pressure too. Like, but here's another thing too I like about the defense, Brent. There's 2 things. One, CJ Allen's a superstar. He's a superstar. Like, he's the best thing on the defense, and to me, it's not close. There's not a close second. 2, I like the hockey waves. I like the hockey shifts, man. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep running people in and out because in this era with all these guys that you have, like, you might as well do that and keep everybody happy, keep everybody fresh. And the difference between everybody that's rushing the passer, it's not like it's great. It's not like there's a big drop off. So I love the way they continue to rotate guys.
To piggyback on that, I would say I like it everywhere, every level of their defense. Because outside of CJ Allen and outside of likely KJ Bolden, anybody on the defense, should they definitively be on there every single play?
Yeah, 6 should be on there the most.
I mean,
yes.
You saw the second half, but yes. Okay.
I didn't say he wasn't going to get beat, but so is everybody else on that in that secondary.
That's what I'm saying.
So
when you're going to rotate those guys though like that, hey, go ahead. Yeah. But you talked about Trinidad making the misses. It was 1st and 10. Georgia rushes 3, and he was trying to hit the tight end, number 8, and he threw it short at his feet. And then on the 3rd down on that play, he did something that I wonder if teams moving forward are going to coach their quarterbacks a little bit differently. It was the slot fade that DeMello Jones, 15, broke up. And Trinidad tries to throw a dime and drops it right in the bucket. And that's how Georgia's defending those passes versus the underthrows where you get PI after PI after PI. So I bet you're going to see a lot of those teams almost purposely underthrow a lot of those balls now because of the way Georgia plays defense.
It's the hardest ball to defend. Now, here's what I'll say, though. If you underthrow those balls and if you play the ball correctly, which I'm not seeing a lot of that around the country. Like, there's not a lot of really good cornerback play, period. But if you underthrow those, obviously, that's a pick. If I get my head around, I got a chance to really make a pick. How about this is the first time ever in Kirby Smart's career that they scored on that the defense didn't get a stop in the first half. Didn't get one stop. Like, first time ever. And
They
Lane
got 2 weeks to figure it out.
They got 2 weeks to figure it out. Lane versus Kirby was incredible. Peyton Woodring continues to be a guy that is so dependable for Georgia. You just kind of count that he's going to make it. Like a 51-yarder, it's like it's going in. I think he had like a 40 for 42 stretch or something. That's just stupid. So like having that is big
Very
time.
much so.
Maybe we'll see this as a replay or as a repeat game. I don't know, but Ole Miss has Oklahoma next game, which is don't let Georgia beat you twice. I'll be interested to see how they rebound. But that defense, man, they had to stay on the field for a long time, and you could tell they got
one was out of gas.
They got exhausted. And here's another thing too. Tip of the cap, man. Gunner barely practiced this week. Like he barely practiced. The fact that he goes out there, not only that, he runs the football like he does. He's not scared. He continues to take shots. Like the dude's just got something to him. He might